Everyone put your phones on the table, screens up, the substitute teacher said before locking the door. Nobody moved at first. We all just stared at her like she'd spoken another language. Substitutes never locked doors. They never demanded phones. They usually just played movies and prayed we didn't destroy the classroom. But this woman stood at the front with her arms crossed, scanning us like she was memorizing faces. Her name was written on the board in sharp letters, Miss Vance. None of us had ever seen her before. She repeated herself slower this time. Phones, table, screens up, now. One by one, we started placing them down. I put mine in the middle, screen facing the ceiling like she asked. My friend Derek hesitated, but she locked eyes with him until he caved. Within a minute, 24 phones sat on the long table at the front of the room. Ms. Vance walked along the row, glancing at each screen without touching them. She stopped at one near the end, picked it up, held it toward the class. Whose phone is this? Nobody answered. The lock screen showed a generic wallpaper, nothing identifiable. She asked again, louder. I need the owner of this phone to stand up right now. Silence. My chest started tightening even though it wasn't mine. She placed the phone back down and pulled out her own, typing something quickly before holding it to her ear. Yes, I found it. Room 114. Send him now. 2 minutes later, the door unlocked from outside. Our actual principal walked in with the school resource officer behind him. The officer wasn't smiling, neither was the principal. They didn't explain anything to us, just went straight to the table and picked up the same phone Ms. Vance had flagged. The principal turned to face us. This device was used to send threatening messages to a student at this school. Bomb threats. Detailed ones. Sent from this room during third period yesterday. My stomach dropped. I looked around. Everyone looked pale, confused, scared. The officer spoke next. We traced the messages through the school Wi-Fi. Whoever sent them was sitting in this exact classroom in this exact period yesterday. That's why Ms. Vance is here. She's not a substitute. She's a district investigator. Ms. Vance stepped forward again. The phone is registered to a parent, but we know a student brought it. We know that student is in this room. If you come forward now, this goes one way. If we have to find you ourselves, it goes another. Nobody moved. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. Then the officer pulled up something on his tablet and turned it toward us. Security footage. Grainy, but clear enough. It showed someone pulling a phone from their bag during yesterday's class, typing furiously, then sliding it back. The camera angle didn't catch the face, but it caught the hoodie, dark green with a white logo on the sleeve. I knew that hoodie. I'd seen it 100 times. My eyes moved on their own, straight to the back corner where Derek sat frozen, hands under the desk, green sleeves barely visible. He wasn't looking at the screen. He was looking at me. The officer asked everyone in a green hoodie to stand. 4 people rose. Derek was one of them. Ms. Vance walked between them slowly, checking sleeves, checking logos. She stopped at Derek, told him to hold out his hands. He did. His fingers were shaking so hard I could see it from across the room. She didn't accuse him out loud. She just nodded to the officer, who asked Derek to come with them. As they led him toward the door, he turned back and looked at me one more time. His mouth opened like he wanted to say something. Sorry, maybe, or help me, or I didn't mean it, but nothing came out. The door closed behind him, and the rest of us just sat there, phones still on the table, not knowing if we'd ever see him again. Derek was expelled that week and charged with making terroristic threats. He's 15 and facing trial as a juvenile.